Hey howdy y'all, this is Dave and the year was 1997. I was 9 years old. I grew up in a strict religious household and didn't have much to work with when it came to video games at the time. I managed to score a Game Boy Pocket for my birthday one year.
Game Boy Pocket. Dig it. Stick it in your pocket. Stick it. In pocket. Stick it.
And we had a 1 gig Acer computer that had some games on it, like Jazz Jackrabbit, Ski Free, and Windows Movie Maker, which were awesome. Most of my video game exposure was from going to other kids' houses. One friend had a Sega where I was exposed to games ranging from Mortal Kombat to Sonic to Shaq Fu. One was more into computer point and clicks like King's Quest, and my favorite, Spider-Man Sinister 6, which was an epic choose-your-own-adventure style game that was probably more for kids older than we were at the time.
Remember, I know all. Betray me, and you might be looking at this one day very soon.
No! Leave her alone! I swear, if you touch her...
This channel is no stranger to choose your own adventures, so you know it was right up my alley. Well, it was late August, early September of '97, and my friend who had the Super Nintendo invited me over. While we were hanging out, he told me we should go to his neighbor's house because they have the new Nintendo 64 and this James Bond game called Goldeneye that just came out, and they had it. I mean, talk about lucky. We went over there and he popped the game in, and let me tell you, my mind was completely blown by what I was looking at. The graphics, the addicting gameplay, the violence. I sat there getting my ass kicked in multiplayer for maybe an hour before we left, and I never had that much fun playing a game in my life. After leaving that kid's house, all I could think of was playing it again. I thought about it often. Other kids at school that also had the game were talking about it too, so that didn't help the situation at all. I didn't even have a 64, so my odds of playing it again anytime soon were slim. At the time, my family had a teenager that we took in that was staying with us, not related, and it was personal reasons, blah blah blah. But this guy was paramount in helping me get into games. He gave me his old Super Nintendo and then would rent games for me like every weekend. This dude came rolling into the living room a day or two before Christmas, and he dropped off a brand new 64 bundle with an extra controller that was clear purple, and it came with Turok 2. My little kid brain could not believe it, because there was no way my parents were ever gonna get us that. It was literally a Christmas miracle. I tried playing Turok 2, and I'm sure it's a good game, but I really wanted Goldeneye. So when my parents were at the mall returning some things after the holidays, I asked them if they would trade Turok 2 in for it. Sure enough, a couple hours later, they came home and produced me my very own copy of Goldeneye for the Nintendo 64. Looking back as an adult, I'm sure they got robbed blind for that trade-in. They had no idea what they were doing. So at first when I was playing it, things were going great. The only other time I played it was at that kid's house, and it was in multiplayer. But I was excited to try the main story after hearing about it the last few months. I had even talked my parents into renting Goldeneye. We had to fast forward some scenes, but we got through it.
Senya, I can't breathe.
Now at the time, this game had an impressive array of faces that they would plaster onto people that you came across in the game, like soldiers, scientists, civilians, etc. Some look better than others, but for the most part they're inoffensive. You don't think twice about coming across them and blowing them away. However, there were two faces that rotated through the cycle that freaked me the fuck out, and I want to talk to you about it. I present to you the freaky guys of Goldeneye. I've told you about my past with games, and hopefully you can understand how unprepared I was for these faces. We're talking Resident Evil came out the year prior, and it's not like I even knew that existed, and Goldeneye predates Silent Hill. Aside from the pixelated deaths I'd see in games that I was used to, there wasn't anything that was necessarily unnerving. Well, maybe aside from the point and clicks, and the frickin' monster and Ski Free. And I certainly wasn't exposed to any horror movies either. These graphics may not seem like much now, but let me tell you, this was the most crystal clear graphics out there, so the realism factor was much higher at the time. The eyes are the scariest part for sure. This one has super thick eyeliner, and is always sporting a punch bowl haircut or he's bald under a hat or something. Both of their mouths are scary too. The one with the brown hair is less freaky, but is still very much freaky. Running around the corner and one of them is right there and you're just like, whoa, all up in that nast, and you can't shoot them fast enough. They always spawn together in levels too. At least on my cartridge they do. It would add that extra layer of panic because I would never be sure if there were any freaky guys in the level or not. Some of the levels you can get a warning that there are freaky guys in there, like the train or the archive, where you might see them walking around before the level starts. You better believe my little kid self would be aborting the mission instantly, just to restart it in hopes the freaky guys wouldn't double or triple spawn into the level. I tried bringing this up to people over the years, and the freaky guys did not seem to affect them at all. In fact, they had zero recollection of any scary faces. They were just shooting shit. So maybe it was just me. But as a dude that eventually went on to live through the Wild West days of the internet, where you could accidentally download a brutal decapitation video or Saddam Hussein's execution off a LimeWire, it's simply not as terrifying anymore. But these guys that are still freaky as fuck will always have their special place in my heart. All I know is that if this Goldeneye remake that they're doing is truly faithful to the original, then they will include freaky guys. If there was anyone else out there that had a similar experience with these faces in particular, please let me know about it in the comments. Or you could just comment an irrational thing that terrified you as a kid to make me feel better. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like what you saw here, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.